Hi there. Today I'm going to show you how to use the learning ladder to coach or design and learning engagement or coach others who are learning new things or even just to help you with your own learning process. I'm going to start out with the basic structure. I know it's called learning ladder, but it's actually stairs. So let's start with the first step of the learning ladder. The first step of the learning ladder is something called unconscious, unskilled. Basically, I don't know what I don't know. Here's an example, right? Let's say my kiddo, he's really into snowboarding. I want to get really into snowboarding so we can do something together. I picture myself learning to snowboard, no problem. I knew how to ski as a kid, and here I am on my snowboard with my hair flowing in the wind, and down I go the mountain, and I got some air there, and isn't that nice? Okay. When you're doing any kind of leadership development here, or you're trying to create a training program, this is where you want to spend a lot of time building the why. Essentially, why should they care? Why are they there? Why should they even care? This is where we want to not only share the feature of whatever the training is. After this training, you'll know how to build trust with your team, or you'll be able to have a coaching conversation or a crucial conversation, whatever the training is about, but actually spend some time on why it matters. What do we get out of it? What do the leaders get out of it? So if you spend time on developing the skill and consistently applying with your team, you will build trust and belonging, and therefore people will be more motivated, etc., etc. So we want to spend a lot of time on the feature benefit dynamic during this part of the training. That's why we often start with mindset. All right. So what happens? People attend training, they go, or in my case, I sign up for snowboarding lessons, and the first thing that happens is I fall flat on my face. So now we're consciously unskilled. I know what I don't know. I mean, this is great. This is why we ask for feedback, because we all have blind spots and we don't see things that other people see. So it's good to know what you don't know so you can actually do something about it. But this is also when people tend to quit. This is a very tenuous part of the learning process. Sometimes you'll see a large amount of frustration and anger during this process. People will check out if you're not maintaining that learning zone, and that's a whole different topic, so I'm not going to talk about that right now. So you can think of almost this part as learning steps, and this is where the concept of small wins come in. That's why we break things up. We don't attend 4-hour lectures and then expect people to know things. They have to learn it, practice it, apply it, and eventually they'll get up that learning ladder. We always want to practice empathic listening. It makes sense that you're feeling frustrated, you're learning a new skill, etc., etc. Empathic listening, it's a huge skill that is very important in any kind of growth or just relationship building in general. The coaching questions you would ask here, which is, what's one small step you can take? And something like, in the past, what have you done to get beyond the learning curve? Another question you could ask, what do you think is the value to you? Why is it important to them to learn the skill? And then one is, what's the cost of not learning it? And of course, we want to stay positive. This is kind of, if all else fails, if somebody gets in a negative mindset, you use that one. And then the last one, of course, is, how can I support you? All right, you can actually ask yourself these questions if you're finding yourself stuck. Now we've practiced and we're learning and we're starting to get it. So now I'm on my board and I'm still thinking about it. I'm still thinking about how to turn the board, or where to push down on the board, or what I need to do step by step, how to get on and off the ski lift. But ultimately, at this point, I'm consciously skilled. So we want to stabilize this as coaches or as a leader coach here by asking questions to reinforce the learning. What we want to do here, and this comes down to the neuroscience, is we want to ask questions to reinforce new behavior. When that new skill is applied, you say something like, what did you notice? What are you doing differently? What else will you do to reinforce learning? We don't want to stop here, but of course, you can easily revert back to consciously unskilled if you don't go to the next stage where you've actually habitualized, and some people will use the word embody in this part. Now we're unconscious skilled. Now I'm just flying down the mountain. There I go. It's my kiddo. We're having a blast. Woohoo! There's my hair flying in the wind. There's my kiddo. And there we go. So now we're all smiles. I'm happy. And we're off we go. So as designers, this is where we can do level 3 and 4 of Kirkpatrick's measurements to make sure that we are capturing all that good data, because we've been very good learning designers and we've put our data capturing plan within our world. And as coaches and for ourselves, we want to continue sharpening the saw here. That's a Franklin Covey term, sharpening the saw. So we want to keep practicing, keep learning, and looking for those opportunities for the next steps. Let's say next I want to learn how to go off jumps. So now I'm going to go on a new learning ladder, stairs, to do jumps. Because what can happen here, if we don't keep reinforcing the learning, keep sharpening the saw, we can revert back and get too complacent and then revert back and go down and have to become consciously skilled again. These are where yearly goals come in, learning goals, those types of things. Yeah, and now you can build on the next leadership skill. If this is your purpose of the learning ladder, is now to say, okay, everybody here now knows how to build trust and empathic listening. They're all good with those things. Now we're going to layer on how to coach. So every skill builds on another skill, which builds on another skill. Now I know how to coach. How do I coach through the change curve? How do I coach with the whole person paradigm? So you can start building skills as we go and just keep going and going forever. Well, maybe not forever, but that's an idea of how the learning ladder works. If you have any questions or specific challenges you're having, please just reach out and I'm happy to answer those.